On the morning of June 20th, 2011, the world lost a very special person, and we lost our brother. We wanted to make this tribute as a celebration of his life, but also we wanted to make it to let you know why we loved him so much and why we're going to miss him.
Police are investigating the cause of a fiery car crash that killed 2 people, including Ryan Dunn, one of the stars of the popular MTV show Jackass.
According to police, 34-year-old Ryan Dunn was speeding over 100 miles an hour when he crashed into this wooded embankment. Dunn's car caught fire, the impact and flames killing him and fellow passenger Zach Hartwell.
Ryan was real. You know, he didn't put on some character to be on TV. He was always himself.
Dunn and I were hands down best friends. Ever since he moved to Westchester, we've pretty much been attached at the hip.
He was just the sweetest guy. You know, he had so much love about him.
He made us smarter, he made us funnier, he made us sweeter. He brought a lot of love to the group.
He looked like everybody's best friend. He was. He was the nicest guy that you would ever want to know.
He never wanted people to be upset. He just wanted everything to be, you know, let's all laugh for a while. Ryan was born June 11th, 1977. We lived in southern Medina County, and then we moved to Brecksville when he was 2 years old. He smiled all the time, even as a little baby. And as he got older, he was very mischievous. He hated school from day one, and I think that's probably what started him off. He just did not like school, and he cried a lot. So he got the nickname Crying Ryan. According to my other 2 children, it was because I babied him, and that's why he cried. But, of course, I wouldn't admit to that.
He never was limited by reality. If he thought it'd make you laugh and entertain you by telling you he jumped off of the balcony and, you know, landed on a goose and rode around the lake, that's what you're gonna get.
He was happiest whenever he could make anybody smile or laugh. That's all he ever wanted. And it was from as early on as I can remember, that was his motivation.
And then we went to Westchester when he was 16. And he loved Westchester as soon as he got there.
Hello there, Bam.
I met Ryan when I was 12 years old. He came from Cleveland, Ohio. He went to East High School with me, my brother, Brandon DiCamello, Chris Rabb, and we just kind of hit it off right away. And we started this really terrible band called Soul Roach. God, I can't believe I'm even saying that.
It's pure excitement here at Soul Roach City. Let's take a picture of the shirt. Jess, stand up. Let's see the shirt. That is Soul Roach.
I started this band with some guys from Westchester, and we didn't have a singer, and he's like, I'll sing. And I was like, oh, can you sing? He's like, no. But I don't know, he just was such a character that he made like a good front man in a band, you know?
Bam here is my backup singer. He's a professional skateboarder and he's cool.
So we got accepted to the Battle of the Bands at East High School, and we came in last.
So yeah, Dunn got to the school, met Bam and Jess, and was immediately in trouble, filming all kinds of stuff in the bathroom.
Take 402.
Actually, they were over at the school more when the school was closed than when the school was open.
What are you doing? Son of a bitch! Yeah!
Bam kind of pushed the, you know, filming things, and we were all just friends.
Yeah, Jared was calling me Pod. How he fit up there?
And then it kind of just drifted into like doing dumb stuff to kind of amuse ourselves.
The president couldn't get real hard until he set the wire.
As the years went on, we realized that why not just put the stuff out on a video since everybody's asking for it anyway. And that's when CKY started.
Dunn knew that I was working on a video called CKY, and he was like the primetime go-to guy. He just wanted to be in the video so bad. So he jumped off this building into this bush. At that point, I knew that he's the main guy to go to when you want to get footage.
What do you think would happen if we put that down and you just biked off of it, like moving?
I don't know, we can find out.
I just remember he was always the first one to do, like, somebody would come up with the craziest idea, like drive this bike off the church into this bush. And everyone's like, dude, no way. And he'd be the one to do it, always, you know? He was like fearless.
1 pound rigatoni coming up. Yeah!
I had no problem, like, you know, crapping myself or doing the gay rollerblading, but as when it came to like jumping off roofs and riding bikes or whatever he was doing, it was like he just would go for it.
One of the first things I remember seeing him do, well, actually, he didn't do anything. He was sleeping.
Congratulations.
He was sleeping and D. Camillo rubbed poop in his face. He did great in that.
He woke me up by putting on my face.
Oh, you can just get even or something.
I'm gonna kick him in the face. I'm gonna break his nose.
Just dump jelly on him or something.
Jelly? The guy put on my face, and you're talking about jelly.
We waited for D. Camillo to go to sleep. Sure enough, he goes up and pisses right in his mouth. He got like maybe a half a gallon of good piss in his mouth.
When this whole thing started with the CKY movies, and then when Jackass came about, that's when he really started to blossom.
My name's Rick.
Rick, did I meet you before?
Probably, but probably not.
Ryan.
I don't think you did.
Yeah.
First time I met Ryan was when we went to Westchester to start filming the first season of Jackass. But I knew who he was just because I'd seen, you know, early CKY videos, and I was already kind of a fan.
No.
We go to Westchester to shoot with Bam, and we get introduced to Ryan, and we pretty much knew right away that we had a brand new ace in the hole.
The first thing we shot on that trip was him jumping into the poo water, the poo dive.
Why not just jump in the toilet and swim? I don't know. It makes him happy.
So how often do you jump in the poo stew?
This would be my first time in an actual poo stew, but I dreamt of it.
One of my favorite things about it was discovering Ryan's weird homemade prison tattoos in his underwear region.
Look at these hanger tattoos.
I ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I know enough to know.
What is that? Is that weights right there?
You gotta be tough.
What does that mean? I don't know.
How did the poo dive come about?
I'm void of any talent, and I needed to make a living, so I jumped in.
I'm Ryan Dunn, and this is poo diving.
It's gonna be done. You gotta be tough.
Dude, I blew that shot. You gotta do it again.
So after Dunn jumped in the waste treatment factory, he reeked so bad that everybody was allowed inside the house to eat dinner, but my mom made a table outside, and he had to eat alone because he reeked too bad.
To add fuel to the fire, they started throwing footballs at me, so needless to say, I didn't enjoy my food that night, and I stunk. And it was awesome. I didn't shower after the poo dive for at least a week, I know that, and it could have been much longer. I can't remember the last time I showered.
I'm on the barf here, dude.
This sucks. No, he's a dirtbag. Like, I mean, not morally, but physically, he was just a filthy human being.
It's pretty funny always seeing Dunn do something and get super dirty. And we'd be done shooting for the day, and everybody go back to the hotel or clean up, and we'd all go out. Dunn would be in the same shirt, same jeans, barely like wiped off the dirt or mud, whatever we were in, and be at dinner at the bar that same night.
He usually smelled really bad. He would not bathe. Hated water.
It's not fair.
Oh, Mr. Have a sweet smile. All the women like you. Ooh.
People like me have to go around diving in the every day. Hey, man. Well, you got a tough job.
Oh, look at me looking pretty everywhere I go.
You gotta work with what you got. Let's go.
He didn't shave, he didn't wash his hair, he didn't shower. I think we purposely wrote things to throw him in water just so we could get him clean.
Go.
Sick.
The bungee launch, I hated that, and that was like 10 years ago. Imagine how much I hate it now. I've got 10 years to marinate on hating water, and now here I am, back, getting tossed into water. It's a huge, big, disastrously annoying circle.
Damn it.
Another miserable water situation for Ryan was on number 2. Basically, we put Ryan on the roof of a van on a pair of water skis, and then Preston was going to drive the van and hit the brakes right when the van hit the water, and he's supposed to water ski across the lake.
How solid do you feel up there? Like,
I don't know. I don't think I've ever done this before.
if Ryan Dunn doesn't get hurt on this one, this whole skid is riding on my badass intro. You know, not being a stunt driver or trained in any way, stopped way too short.
And he didn't skim, he just went straight down to his face.
Into cement and muck and... Why did that not make it? What happened?
Ryan was mad because he took a major fall on that and it never got seen, so here's our chance to let the world see some of Ryan's beautiful art.
Now it's time to rediscover the lost art of van surfing. Ryan Dunn will play the role of Teen Wolf, while Preston Lacey plays the role of his cool bro Styles.
You ass. You all right? You all right? Yeah, all right, you.
My God. Yeah, Ryan, that water really wasn't that deep.
No. Damn, you look all right.
You want to know where I landed?
Yeah.
He ate pure and I highly recommend to never do that, kids, because he got muffed up, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
You are not very good at skiing.
You're not really good at anything.
You're not very good at skiing. I haven't found one thing I'm good at.
In the early days, just meeting Ryan, I was just trying to figure out how to write bits for him. So I was like, well, what are you good at? And he's like, oh, I like to BMX a lot.
Get him! Show him who's captain!
He already said he rode BMX, and then, like, further investigation, I found that, yeah, he does ride, but he doesn't really ride away from anything.
And he was very much into like going for things that, you know, there was no way he was going to make it from the beginning. And it wasn't because he was so brave either, but he was just, you know, he was willing to accept what was going to happen to him.
That's why we call you Dr. Kick-Ass. Now hit it. All right.
Yeah, he was very graceful in his wipeouts. Not really, actually. Now that I think about it, he slammed pretty hard.
If we were trying to do a stunt and people keep landing it, We would just send in Ryan to finish it off.
I think Bam was great at it the first time, and now Dunn stepped in to up the failure rate to an all-time high.
I don't think he ever landed anything except for on his face, which worked for us.
If he wasn't pranking you or trying to get you while we're filming, then outside of that, he was like the most genuine rad dude.
If Jackass is looking for a certain type, it's a guy that's just so willing to do something that he knows is going to fail, he knows it's going to hurt, and do it with such grace and style. He was the epitome of a jackass, you know?
What have you been kind of dreading the most about shooting in the film? Like, what stunt were you kind of the most worried about before you did it?
I put a toy car in my butt. You really have to ask me that.
We were filming the first movie, and Steve-O was supposed to shove the car up his butt, but Steve-O had just told us that he's not going to do it.
Put it this way, Bam. What's the point of being in a Hollywood movie if every mother that sees the Hollywood movie comes up to you and says, "Hey, saw you shove something up your ass"?
You're that dude who shoved the car up your ass.
I mean, really.
Ryan Dunn walks in. I go, well, Steve-O just told us that he's not doing the car up the ass bit. And Ryan's like, well, someone's got to do it. And right then the light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, Ryan, you're right. Someone does have to do it, buddy.
I mean, it just has to be done. It's too good not to be done. I'll do it. I mean, and I want to. Don't think I'm crazy and I want to go get hurt or I want to shove things into my butt. I just know that it'll be funny, so I'm going to go do it.
Now I'm lubing up.
You can't see the car.
The little toy car. Because I'm going to put it in my butt.
He just did it like a champ, by the way. I mean, he was chilling with that thing in his butt for the whole day. And it was just one camera and done, and I don't think anyone could have pulled that off like he did.
Well, that's not part of you. That's something extra.
I would have known if I ate that.
No, you won't be able to swallow that. That's just a car toy.
Well, how did a car toy get there?
Maybe you stuck it up your ass.
I didn't stick anything up my ass.
Butt X-ray was and probably still is the best thing we ever shot.
Just go to the doctor, you don't talk to anybody, your girlfriend or to your boyfriend or to whatever. You don't tell nobody, all right? He already knows that's too many people.
Whenever anyone asked, you know, who he was, if it came up in conversation, I'd say he's the one that's famous for shoving the car up his ass. And that was really, you know, that's the best way to describe him, because that's what he always said. That's what sent him into the new echelon.
I mean, to be honest, dude, whether I wish I did it or not, I didn't have the balls you had, dude, and that's all it takes, dude, to win.
You know what? I think because, you know, Dunn got caught shoving that tiny Corvette up his butt. And caught. And everybody talks about it. So I'm like, well, if everybody remembers that, then I'll do anal bead kite. And then ever since that, I'm like, branded on my ass. I don't care. Like, so I just have a lot of bits involving my ass simply because he got caught shoving a Corvette up his butt.
So you're just admitting to stealing my thunder right here in front of me?
A little bit, right here and now.
Jesus.
That's what you get, enough of the gruff.
Bam and Ryan always stayed so close. I was super good friends with Ryan, but they've always been super tight.
Knoxville has prescription lotion, and that's all he uses. And I got it.
But I got something else. Horse.
Where do you even get a horse?
From a horse, idiot.
They had their own lives, but they just were so close. Really, really close. Really close.
I'm not whipping your out.
All right, well, pull the fat up.
Get up. I'm at it. You're at it?
Couldn't even call them friends. I'd call them, like, big brother, little brother, and Dunn being the big brother.
Welcome to Bychester. Damn it. It's so not right.
And not just Jackass, even through all the stuff they went through together, they stayed close and remained friends, and that says a lot.
Dunn and I were hands down best friends. Like, we went everywhere together. We flew everywhere together. We'd crack the most random jokes. We had the same sense of humor. He was my main man.
They were two best buds. And it's weird now that it's not like that anymore.
When I first got to Westchester to do Viva La Bam, I was such an outsider. I didn't know Bam, I didn't know Dunn, I didn't know Deco or any of those guys, and they're such a tight-knit group. They wanted nothing to do with me and the crew I was there with.
Me and Dunn pushed the producer's rental car into his rental apartment.
In my dream, I hear the sound of angels or sparkly miracle sounds, and as I open my eyes, the front end of my rental car was inside of the living room of my apartment. And the sound that I thought were angels was the sound of shards of glass falling from the door frame.
I'm so going to jail for that!
$5,000 later, we settled it in court.
It wasn't necessarily the first day, but I felt like immediately over time, Dunn definitely tried to make a connection. And by the time I'd finished up the very first season of Viva La Bam, I just felt like Dunn and I were best friends. I mean, the beauty of Ryan was that he made everybody feel like they were his best friend. He was just that genuinely interested in who you were and what you were about.
And I think more than anything, when I reflect back on meeting him for the first time on the Homewrecker set, is when he saw me for the first time, he just gave me a big hug, like we had been friends forever.
I mean, treated everybody exactly the same. Like, I don't care if you're Johnny Knoxville or, you know, a lighting rigger or whatever. Like, every single person that he talked to or hung out, he made them feel like, you know, they were best buds.
I've never seen Dunn guarded with people. We would be out in public and people, you know, always coming up to him. Like, they wanted an autograph or he would sit there and chat with them forever. You know, he just loved talking to people. He's really open. And I wish I was that open.
I was a fan first, you know, and it's pretty rare to meet people and have them be as cool as he was. He truly was a cool dude.
Out of these, which one do you think would be some of the most slippery?
I recommend maybe the soap-based material or vegetable oil. This is a polymer, by the way.
What is polymer?
Polymer is a chemical. No, don't do that.
Ryan and I actually met when I came in to do a chemistry test for Proving Ground, which is the show that we ended up doing on G4.
So does that machine check flavor?
You must be kidding. What are you doing?
It's good.
He just was the most interesting person to talk to. Like, every once in a while I would make a comment about something we were doing or where we were going, and he knew so much stuff about it. I'm like, where did that come from?
Yeah, when we first met Ryan, he sold himself as, I'm a pro BMX rider, I'm a race car driver, I'm a scientist. Oh man, everything you could imagine.
I believe Ryan Dunn knows what he's doing because he told me he studies physics.
He's serious. He told us that. He's serious.
He could hold a conversation about anything. He'd bullshit his way through it probably, but he actually did have he had a lot of knowledge up there.
It didn't matter if I was talking about synthetic organic chemistry or, you know, process engineering, anything like that. Ryan knew something about it. And not only that, he probably had a company devoted to that particular expertise.
Ryan was quite the entrepreneur. I'm not exactly sure how many companies he really had, but he definitely had a lot of business cards.
Whether it was automotive design,
wastewater reclamation,
aerospace welding,
exfoliating lotions for hands,
RD Design, RD Motoring, RD Financial Solutions.
He was telling me that he worked for some government agency that had aliens in captivity.
And in fact, it was some of his connections, though, that really got us hooked up with the argon that we used for one of my favorite skits that we ever filmed, the chemical spill skit.
Argon is an inert gas that kills oxygen, but it's really cool when it's in liquid form because it looks like mercury and sprays everywhere.
Ryan hooked that up. I don't know where the hell he got to do her. I don't know how we got liquid argon.
All right, I'll be back. Good luck. Don't drop this.
And I don't know how we didn't suffocate in the van, but, you know, that was a lot of fun.
Holy. Speaking of Ryan Dunn's business opportunities, the car stereo thing was one of them, and that led to a pretty horrific day.
A kid from school lent him his Volkswagen Jetta so he could drive to the mall, buy a stereo system to hook it up, and he invited me, my brother, and Chris Rabb to go with him.
So we're driving there, and Rabb's screaming in the back, just chaos. We got, like, you know, whoever playing on the radio just cranked, having the time of my life, and I'm speeding because I'm a punk kid.
He's driving like 110 miles an hour to the point where Rabb grabs my seatbelt and buckles me in. 10 seconds later, we flipped 8 times in oncoming traffic.
Like, not like a roll. It was like front to back to front to back.
The car flips, opens up the passenger door, just flies out in the center median over the oncoming traffic.
Yeah, Ryan was all bloody. They found me in the trees, and Bam broke the window with his head. Rabb was totally fine.
My part of the car, like, nothing had happened to it at all, and I just kind of got out and was just confused. And look at everybody's just in panic, and there's cars like skidding out, getting out. Couldn't believe any of us were alive, let alone all of us.
It was just the worst time of my entire life, and to this day, like, I hate talking to April, Bam's mom, about it because she hated me, and to this day, she probably still has a little bit of hate in her for that accident right there, and I don't blame her because it was horrible. Stupid kids do stupid things.
I was pretty much terrified to ever get in a car with him, and, you know, I agreed to do the Gumball Rally with him, which was around the world in 8 days. Whenever Dunn was driving, I was seriously so terrified that after, like, the 3rd day, I was like, Dunn, you seriously need to stop at a sex shop and buy me a butt plug because I'm going to crap myself.
This is the new race car. We're prepping it now for this year's 12-hour endurance race, and hopefully we won't be landing in 5th or 4th or 3rd. We'll be landing in 1st, or else I'd be very upset.
He is a good race car driver. He did do a race in West Virginia, and he got 1st place.
I don't even know how many cars he had, but he was so into it. He would just, you know, buy these crazy fast cars, take them all apart, put them all back together again, customize them. He was way into it. Full-blown gearhead.
You know, started from skateboards to bicycles to, you know, eventually cars. But anything could get him moving a little faster intrigued him.
What do you think's happening here with this one? Go check his oil.
How about this?
Blew it up again.
Don't buy a car made by Dolce & Gabbana and you'll be fine. Piece of
When we finished Jackass 2, the very ending of the movie, Dunn and I were attached with ropes around our feet, and a horse was going to come by full speed and just rip us out.